My dear students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today my topic is climate of India, subject to geography, class 9th. Dear students, first of all I will tell you what is climate. Climate refers to the sum total of weather conditions over a large area for a longer period of time, more than 30 years. And the climate refers to the sum total of all weather conditions. It is sum total of all weather conditions over a large area for a longer period of time, more than 30 years. Whereas weather refers to the state of the atmosphere. Weather refers to the state of the atmosphere over an area at any place of time, at any point of time. But the elements of weather and climate are the same. That is, we have temperature, it is both in weather and also in climate. We have atmospheric pressure, wind, humidity and precipitation. These are elements which are common both in weather and both in climate. But as you know that weather changes, it fluctuates during a day, in a week or a month, but there are common patterns. Some common patterns are found there, that sometimes days are cool or hot, windy or calm, cloudy or bright, wet or dry. These are some common patterns of a weather. But as we talk of India, India has a monsoon type of climate. What is monsoon? Monsoon refers to the reversal of wind direction, during a year. These are the winds which change their direction, and there is uncertainty in these winds. So, these winds change their direction during a year, and the monsoon has, the word monsoon has been derived from Arabic word which is mausim. Mausim means the season. So, it has been derived from the Arabic word mausim, which means the season, and the India is mostly influenced by the monsoon type of climate. But before going forward, my dear students, I will tell you two important elements. I will describe them, that is temperature and precipitation. These two important elements, they differ from place to place. There are some variations, regional variations are being found within the same country, within the same season. First, we will take of temperature, which is the most important element of weather and climate. I will describe temperature, how temperature differs in India during the summer season. We will take the example of, here is a chart for you, Rajasthan. In western Rajasthan, in summer season, the temperature rises about up to 50 degrees Celsius, and on the same night the temperature falls up to 15 degrees Celsius. During day temperature in Rajasthan is experienced up to 50 degree Celsius, and the same temperature follows on the same night up to 15 degree Celsius. So, one variation. Number two, we will take the example of Pahalgam in J&K, in the Kashmir valley. Pahalgam, which is also a hill station, the temperature may be around 20 degrees centigrade. And we take the example of Dras, the temperature on a winter night falls minus 45 degrees Celsius. The Dras, which is located in J&K in Ladakh, Dras, which is also the second coolest place of the world, it experiences the temperature falls minus 45 degree in a winter night. And take the example of southern India, here in Trivandrum, the temperature may be around 22 degrees centigrade. So, there are variations in the temperature from region to region, regional variations are there. In the same country and in the same season, temperature differs. It was the temperature, how temperature differs. Now, my dear students, I will tell you the precipitation. Precipitation, the forms of precipitation are rain, snow और hail. जो बारिश पड़ती है या जो बर्फ पड़ती है या जो कभी ओले पड़ते हैं, तो ये जो रेन, स्नो और हेल, these are the forms of precipitation. I will tell you how precipitation differs from place to place, similarly as temperature differs from place to place. Here we will take the example of, this is the Meghalaya. यहाँ पर ये मेघालय है, in the it is यहाँ पर Mawsynram, which is 20 kilometers away from Cherrapunji, which is also located in Meghalaya. Here it records world's highest rainfall, and overall Meghalaya experiences or records 400 centimeters rainfall. यहाँ पे Meghalaya records 400 centimeters of rainfall, and in Meghalaya there are Khasi hills, there are Jayanti hills, and these hills are there, but the Mawsynram, which is located in the southern part of the hills, here we see that it records the world's highest rainfall, that is up to 1080 centimeters of rainfall. So, we will take example of here in Ladakh, the rainfall is recorded only 10 centimeters. So, there is a great variation. In Meghalaya, rainfall is more than 400 centimeters, while as in Ladakh, the rainfall is only 10 centimeters. So, there is a big variation, difference are there. Similarly, we see in the Jaisalmer in Rajasthan is the place, or the northwestern the Rajasthan, that it records rainfall of 10 to 15 degrees centimeters. While as we see the western Ghats here, these are western Ghats or coast areas, they experience heavy rainfall. So, there are variations both in temperature and both in rainfall. But my dear students, I will tell you that what is the difference, what is the reason behind it, because in the same country, in the same season, we have different temperatures, and in the same rainy season, which have different rainfall records in the country. So, there are some factors which are responsible for all this phenomena. My students, I will tell you that the factors which are responsible for or which affect the climate of a place, the factors which affect the climate of place are: number 1, latitude. As we go from equator toward the poles, the temperature decreases, because the center of the earth, the equator, which divides earth into two equal parts, which is an imaginary line drawn on the center of the globe, a big circle which is known as equator. In the center of the earth, the sun's rays fall directly. So, the center of the earth, the equatorial region, the areas which are situated in north and south of the equator, they receive much heat and light. So, as we go from equator toward the poles, the temperature decreases. So, it depends upon the latitude of a place, how to determine the climate of a place. So, latitude also affects the climate of a place, which is example of Tropic of Cancer. Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 north latitude है. Tropic of Cancer, which passes through the middle of India. Tropic of Cancer, it is an important latitude which passes through the middle of India, and between the Tropic of Cancer in the north to Tropic of Capricorn, Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 south latitude. So, there are 180 latitudes, 90 in the north and 90 in the south. So, the northern, the most important latitude, that is Tropic of Cancer, is 23.5 degree north latitude, and Tropic of Capricorn is 23.5 south latitude. Between these two tropics, suppose it is the earth, is equator, and this is, so यहाँ equator है, and this is 23 degree north latitude, and this is 23.5 south latitude. Between those two important latitudes, those important tropics, this is called torrid zone, hot zone. There is no winter between these two tropics. So, the Tropic of Cancer, it passes through the middle of India, divides India into two climatic zones. The southern part is the tropical zone, and northern part is the subtropical zone. So, my dear students, I want to tell you that the latitude affects the climate of a place. So, now number 2, we have another factor which affects the climate of a place, that is the altitude. Altitude यानी बुलंदी या ऊंचाई कहते हैं उर्दू में इसमें, altitude. The places which are situated at high altitudes, they experiences low temperature, because as we go higher from the surface of the earth, the temperature decreases, but only in the atmosphere. I want to tell you, my dear students, that in geography you must remember it, that we usually say as we go higher it is cooler, but in geography it is not so. As we go higher, only in the atmosphere, if we will cross the atmosphere, there is intense heat. It is only the atmosphere, up to atmosphere we can go, and as we go from surface of the earth towards the higher ups, but only in the atmosphere the temperature decreases. That is why the hill stations, we say the Gulmarg, Pahalgam, these are hill stations, Shimla, Manali, these hill stations which are having moderate type of climate. It is because of the fact that we go as the higher the temperature decreases. So, the atmosphere is dense at the grassroots level, that is troposphere. As we go higher, the atmosphere, the layers of the atmosphere decreases, it becomes thin. So temperature decreases, but only in the atmosphere. याद रखना, इसी एटमॉस्फेयर में जब हम एटमॉस्फेयर को क्रॉस करेंगे तो टेम्परेचर ज़्यादा हाई है, तो क्योंकि इट इज़ द एटमॉस्फेयर विच protects us from the intense heat of the sun. It acts as a blanket. It saves Earth. If atmosphere would have not been there, there would have been no life on the Earth. Then the sun's rays would have been able to reach the surface of the Earth 100 times. So it was not possible for any life on the surface of the Earth. So it is the altitude. So when we go here, we see we take the example of the Himalayas. In the Himalayas there are the temperature is low because of the forests, because of the high mountains. These also mountains affects the climate of a place. As I will give more example, when rain bearing winds, when they blow, वो हवाएं जो बारिश लाती हैं जब वो चलती हैं, अगर उनके रास्ते में if a mountain comes in the path of these rain bearing winds, the mountain forces these winds to cause rain, तो वहाँ पर बारिश होती है. मैं एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ आपको वेस्टर्न घाट्स की. जब यहाँ पर the southwest monsoons enter India, they strike against western Ghats, they cause rain, because the mountains, all the hills, these are responsible for modifying the climate of a place. Though mountains also modify the climate of a place, so it is a second factor which affects the climate of a place. Number third is relief. Land, the push, just I was talking to you, the land, the relief, it also affects the climate of a place. Relief means the mountains, the plateaus, the portion of the land is not same everywhere. Our earth is not uniform everywhere. यकसा नहीं है, एक जैसी नहीं है. It has mountains, it has plateaus, tablelands. Just like southern part of the India is a tableland, is a peninsular plateau, and not in northern parts of the the Himalayas. Though the elevation of a place, so relief feature, because mountains are there, plateaus are there, they act as a barrier in between the rain bearing winds. So these mountains, these uplands, these are responsible for bringing the change or in the state of atmosphere. So relief is also an important factor which affects the climate of a place. Number 4, distance from the sea. Distance from the sea. समुद्र से दूरी. यहाँ पर एक चार्ट है. See, this is Bay of Bengal. यहाँ से Indian Ocean है, यहाँ से तरफ Arabian Sea. Those the coast areas, these are coast areas, eastern coast and western coast. The places which are situated on the coasts, they have moderate type of climate, or we can say equable type of climate, because of the influence of the sea. Because this is water, sea water is there, it affects the coast areas. In the coast area, the southern India, despite it is very close to the equator, but due to the influence of the sea waves, these coast areas experience moderate type of temperature. Moderate means neither very hot nor very cold, न ज़्यादा गर्म न ज़्यादा सर्म, सदर इन प्लीजेंट एटमॉस्फेयर, खुशगवार मौसम यहाँ पर होता है. और जैसे कि हम अंदर चलेंगे हिंदुस्तान के इंटीरियर पार्ट, दक्षिण प्लेटो में, यहाँ पे यहाँ हम देखते हैं कि देयर इज द सी वेव्स हैव नो इफेक्ट इन द इंटीरियर ऑफ द प्लेटो or in northern part of the land. So the Deccan Plateau, or we can say the Delhi, which is situated at high, very far from the sea, the sea waves has no effect on the interior of the India or the northern part of the India, because of the fact that it is too far. ये बहुत दूर है इससे. यही वजह है कि we experiences. Yeah, but in interior of the India there is continental type of climate, continental. कॉन्टिनेंटल, जिसे कहते हैं बरअज़मी आबहवा। कॉन्टिनेंटल मीन्स एक्सट्रीम टाइप ऑफ क्लाइमेट, वेरी हॉट इन समर एंड वेरी कूल्ड इन विंटर। गर्मी में ज़्यादा गर्मी और सर्दी में ज़्यादा सर्दी। सो इंटीरियर ऑफ द इंडिया, इंटीरियर ऑफ द प्लेटो, द डेक्कन प्लेटो, और अबो इट देयर इज द यहाँ पर जो पंजाब है, दिल्ली है, दे टू एक्सपीरियंस द कॉन्टिनेंटल टाइप ऑफ क्लाइमेट। कॉन्टिनेंटल टाइप मीन्स द एक्सट्रीम टाइप ऑफ क्लाइमेट, शदीद किस्म की आबहवा जो गर्मी में ज़्यादा गर्म होती है और सर्दियों में ज़्यादा सर्द होती है। इट इज़ बिकॉज द फैक्ट दैट सी वेव्स हैव नो इफेक्ट on these areas. So we can say that the areas which are situated close to the sea experience moderate type of climate, and which are situated far from the sea, they are having the extreme type of climate or the continental type of climate. So when there is one more, there ocean currents. Ocean currents also affects the climate of it. It modifies the climate of a place. When these winds blow, they make the hot place a moderate one. They change the atmospheric pressure of a place. So these currents, ocean currents, they are also responsible for bringing the change in the temperature or the rainfall of a place. So if a place is more hot because of these currents which are originating in the sea, ocean currents, they also affect the climate of a place. So ocean currents are very important. And there is one more thing, that is upper air circulation or wind system. Here we have western disturbances. So the air moves. There is a change in pressure. Where there is the wind is below from high pressure towards the low pressure. So when high pressure is created, when low pressure is created, so the high pressure wind is blown to the low pressure winds, low pressure areas. So this is the very important wind system also affects the climate of a place. And western disturbances are there. There are some winds during winter. They originate from the Mediterranean Sea, and they cross via, they move towards the east, and they cross via Iran and Pakistan. They strike the north western parts of India, that is Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan. They cause rainfall there, and they are responsible for causing the snowfall in the slopes of the Himalayas. So this is also responsible. Western disturbance is also responsible in the bringing the change of a temperature. So there are these are my students. These are the factors which are responsible for bringing the change in the climate of a place. As I already told you, first of all, that there are some variations are found in the same country and in the same season. Some variations are found in the form of temperature and in the form of rainfall. और उसके पीछे कौन से अवामिल कार फरमा है, कौन से फैक्टर रिस्पॉन्सिबल है, उन फैक्टर्स को मैंने आपके सामने डिस्कस किया. एंड इसके साथ ये लेक्चर खत्म होता है. थैंक्स वेरी मच.